Hello and welcome back for Easter. Today's message was brought to us by Tony Randall, bringing us a Good Friday reflection. Happy Easter to you all. God bless. See you next time.
If you saw someone walking down the street wearing a tiny silver electric chair and a necklace, you'd probably cross the street.
Oh, absolutely. Or you'd assume they just have a really dark sense of humor.
Yeah.
Treating a literal instrument of execution as jewelry is, well, it's pretty macabre.
Right, exactly. Yet millions of people wear a cross every single day without a second thought. So in today's deep dive, we're unpacking a Good Friday sermon you provided.
Yeah, and our mission here is to really decode that exact paradox.
Yeah.
Like, how did Rome's most terrifying torture device become a universal symbol of shelter?
Because we really have to strip away that modern familiarity to get it. According to the source material, the cross was, it was pure terror in the first century.
Oh, 100%. The Romans used it exclusively for what they considered the absolute lowest of the low.
And I get that it was brutal, but why was it viewed with such, unique disgust? Didn't Jewish law have a specific curse for it?
They did, yeah. The law stated that anyone hanging on a piece of wood was literally cursed by God. So the degradation wasn't just physical, it was deeply spiritual.
Wow, that is intense.
It was so profound that early Christians actually refused to use the cross as a symbol for, about 250 years.
Right, they used the fish symbol instead just to survive.
Exactly, out of sheer fear of being targeted by the authorities.
Which makes the events in this sermon feel even heavier. Because if the cross was that reviled, almost everyone who knew Jesus naturally fled to avoid the shame.
Yeah, the isolation is intense, and it brings the few people who actually were there into really sharp focus.
Right, it's a brilliant contrast, like Simon of Cyrene.
The ultimate wrong place, wrong time guy.
Seriously, he's just this passerby from North Africa walking into Jerusalem, and Roman soldiers completely force him to carry the cross.
And the ironies just compound from there. You have the religious leaders, the so-called experts, actively mocking him.
Shouting that he saved others but can't save himself. But then look who actually recognizes him as the Son of God first.
The Roman executioner.
Wait, I just have to pause here. Why would a hardened centurion, a guy whose day job is state violence, suddenly care about a dying Jewish peasant?
That is the core irony the sermon highlights. The religious insiders are totally blind. But the ultimate outsider sees the truth simply through the way Jesus suffers.
It's a great reminder for you as you analyze this stuff. Sometimes the experts miss the point entirely while the outsider sees it.
Yeah. And while the inner circle of disciples ran away, a group of devoted women, like the Marys and Salome, actually stayed and watched from a distance.
So all this contrasting behavior builds to that dark climax at 3 p.m. Jesus cries out, my God, why have you abandoned me?
Total despair.
Now, I've always stumbled on that detail. If the sermon's premise is that Jesus is divine, why highlight him screaming that God abandoned him?
It does seem like a massive contradiction at first.
Right. It feels like it undermines the whole message.
Well, until you look at the theological explanation in the text.
Yeah.
The message is that the physical agony was actually secondary.
Oh, really?
Yeah. He had to experience total, absolute spiritual abandonment from God so he could carry humanity's wrongs alone.
Ah, I see. He absorbed the ultimate isolation so nobody else would ever have to.
Exactly. And the immediate aftermath is what shifts the entire paradigm. Right after he dies, the massive curtain in the temple sanctuary suddenly tears completely in two.
From top to bottom. But for those of us who, aren't brushed up on first century architecture, why is torn curtain such a big deal?
So you have to picture what this curtain was. It wasn't just some living room drape. It was supposedly inches thick.
Wow, okay.
And it separated the general public from what they believed was the literal, lethal presence of God. Only the high priest could go back there once a year.
So tearing it isn't just symbolic. It's like suddenly dropping the ultimate VIP velvet rope.
Yes, exactly.
Or instantly declassifying the most guarded secrets in the universe.
It essentially dismantled an entire religious hierarchy in 1 second. That tearing signifies that his immense suffering suddenly granted everyone, including you, direct access to God's love.
No more barriers. That directly answers the paradox we started with. And the sermon brings this full circle with that hymn by Elizabeth Cliffane.
The young Scottish poet,
yeah.
She describes standing beneath the cross and calling it a safe and happy shelter.
It entirely flips the script on the electric chair analogy from earlier. The ultimate symbol of agonizing death becomes the ultimate open door.
It really is an incredible shift.
It is. But I want to leave you with something else to chew on as we wrap up this deep dive. Think back to Simon of Cyrene.
The bystander who was totally forced into it.
Exactly. He surely hated it in that moment, being thrust into someone else's horrific execution against his will.
Oh, without a doubt.
But as you go about your week, think about that dynamic. How often do the unexpected, entirely unwanted burdens that you are forced to carry end up becoming the most defining, transformative moments of your entire legacy?